And welcome back to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina, right here on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. Today we have in studio, joining us is Deputy Tim Ferrone from the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Department. Tim, you're in charge of a program called the VIDA program. It's a 16-week program for at-risk teens. And we've been talking a little bit about the program. And I'm really curious about the parents when they come and they show up and they start doing their classes, and you got facilitators coming in talking about parenting. What's the eye-opener, the shocker for the parents as they're starting to learn and discover and to kind of get self-educated about being a parent?
You know, and we try to not get them too shocked, because from day one we let them know, hey, this is not about your child, it's really about you, and if you don't change, your child will not change. So
you tell them flat out right from the gate,
right when we start. And I preface it with, hey, I'm not standing up here to tell you I'm the perfect parent. I've made mistakes, but here's the deal. Our stresses that we put on our kids. Dad's not paying child support. You're just like your dad. You're using drugs, and I'm using drugs. I can't pay the bills. I just lost my job. And parents think just because the child might have a roof over their head that they should just be happy. And I know growing up that was kind of the running theme for the parents. You should just be happy you have food and clothing.
That's right.
And it's a lot different. And I don't go back in the day, because it'll never be like that. And realistically, I talk to a lot of parents, and they don't want the relationship they had with their parents. They were scared, no relationship, lied to their parents continuously. And I want to find somewhere in the middle where we have some respect for authority, some friendship, and I want to find a middle. I don't want your child to be afraid of you in a dictatorship like some of us grew up as.
Do you think that most of these parents are just a little clueless, like they just don't know that they're damaging their kids in this way, or they're just not consciously aware, or they just haven't found the tools yet?
I think a lot of them are just caught up in their own chaos, and they are trying to run their lives, and they're not putting their kids first, and that's what it comes down to. And I'm not saying this is every parent that's ever been in VIDA. So if you're out there and you were in VIDA, I'm kind of just being in a general term of what we see with some of the most damaged children.
Yeah, the common themes that you're noticing that's coming across.
Correct. And I'm not laying anybody else in VIDA, because we've had some tremendous parents in VIDA, and I was on with Carl from KHTS last week. So great parent. And like he said, I just need some additional tools. I ran out of tools, and I needed somebody to come up with some tools. So we as parents just got to realize that when our life's chaos, trust me, your kids feel it. They feel your energy. They feel the chaos. And especially males, we're not going to tell you. We're not going to come to you when we're 14 and 15 and, oh, Mom, you know what? What's going on with you? That's just not what men do. And unfortunately, I wish it wasn't, but that's how we operate. And single moms, single dads, we need to learn what our kids' languages are. We call them love languages, how they operate. And, we need to find out times in the day when our kids want to talk to us. We can't wake up in the morning yelling and screaming about, you didn't do the dishes last night. The house is a mess. When you pick them up from school, did you fail that test? Why didn't you study? What did you do? Da-da-da. Right before they go to bed, you know what? You didn't do the dishes again. I'm done with you. You're just like your dad. You're useless. Okay, and it's just constant. And when I tell the parents, you know what? You need to pick your battles, and you need to figure out what time it is that your child likes to talk to you. Because I'm telling you right now, when you pick your kids up, is not the time to bag on them. You just need a special time. I don't know if it's before they go to bed, if it's at dinner, but the constant badgering because your life is so chaotic is not fair to the kids.
Yeah, that's a great point. We call that unconscious parenting. Right. Is when you're just on automatic pilot. You're worrying about, and granted, you have the right to worry about bills and how are you going to feed your kids and how you're going to make the mortgage payment, all that stuff. But there still takes consciousness where you have to start paying more attention to your parenting skills and your ability to empower and inspire your kids to develop and to grow. You can't just expect them to learn that on their own. It's just not happening. The world's not geared up, and especially the school system isn't geared up to develop critical thinking and leadership abilities. Their agenda is to educate and to pass grades and to do the study. And you're gonna, in today's world, you have to be more conscious of a parent. You got to give more effort.
Absolutely.
To it.
And as a facilitator and a leader in the VIDA program, we also have to realize that most of these kids that come in have really low self-esteem, and that's either brought on by their parents, some of their actions, or other kids. But our job is not to load them up with that. We want to combat that. And unfortunately, to begin, the kids are thinking that we're kind of degrading them when actually we're trying to get them focused. And every study that we've read, kids thrive under structure. When the kids are bored out here, that's when they get in trouble and decide to do crazy things. And so I tell the kids during our interview, hey, when I first meet them, we're going to yell and scream at you in the beginning to try to get you focused and squared away. Don't take it personally. We're not yelling at you. We're trying to get you focused, okay? So once they get past that whole stigma of, oh, they don't like me or they're yelling at me, it's not about that. And it is kind of a game. You know, we have to break them down a little bit, get some of their bad habits taken care of, and then we move on. But
break them down a little bit to then be able to build them back
correct.
Up, right? Yeah, great. So when we get back from the break, Deputy Ferrone, I want to ask you about the transformation that happens in them and the changes that you see in them by the end of the program. You're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS.